So we're back in another Fortships video where I'm showing off builds that aren't cannon ships, basically. I'm just trying to show off some different builds that you might be able to get away with and showing, the pros and cons of each. So last video, I showed off a rocket build where I was saying with rockets, the only way they're viable is if you get in, where you're attacking their bases or attacking their ships, close range. And I did a little rockets on both sides and got in, started firing among their bases. This is kind of the extreme version of that, basically. So I guess I'll just fast forward so you can see, not that far, but I'm building a ship with 2 shotguns and rockets all alongside, and I just backed up a bit so you can see I'm kind of building it in the air and stuff because I'm trying to get this over as fast as possible. And that's pretty important, that you're not just building this all in base and then getting it over and going about slowly. You're trying to get rockets over to them as soon as possible, and instead of just doing more conservative builds, you're just going to try to upgrade these rockets and turn over as soon as possible, and just like single door bunch of rockets on the base. There are multiple ways to do this with, you can try double dooring stuff, and you can try, I would probably recommend armoring the top up a bit better in case they have ships out that are attacking side to side. You at least want to be able to tank a couple cannon shots from the side if you think they have a cannon ship out, that type of thing. But you're probably not going to, with this type of build, you're not going to want to engage ships in the air that much. This is a rush. The only way this is going to work is if you can take out bases quickly, because obviously just a side-to-side cannon ship is probably going to take this thing out in a fair fight. So you just have to be doing damage to their core and make it not a fair fight, basically. You could also get weapons out backwards when you do this, but basically in its purest form, I'm trying to show off you just little armor, bunch of rockets, and you just rush them with it. Because the more time you spend armoring up and waiting for economy and stuff, the less this is going to work, because you need to be getting stuff out pretty quick. That said, I had put a double door here and it saved one of my rockets, and I had put one piece of metal here that saved me from being completely destroyed. So there are arguments for how much do you want to armor stuff, but the main idea is just get lots of rockets out at their bases quickly. And then of course the shotguns are, like you see, they have tons of machine guns all along their top to stop the rockets, and this will just clear that out. I've had limited success with it. ADSs are probably the worst, because basically they just chunk through the stuff in the current build, and I probably should have focused my rockets and shotguns more on the ADS type stuff, but this is it. Just chunking their base, and yeah, you really just want to get it out before they can get too many ships out and do damage to their base. And again, side to side, you could put rockets facing to the right on here, or you could have rockets facing backwards, but I guess in its purest form, my suggestion would just be armor this up more and just try to tank any shots that are coming from your right or above, and just keep firing on their base, because that's the only way this type of thing is going to win. Because eventually, they're going to get better ships up, but if you can just keep hammering their bases with rockets, you can kind of prevent that. And I mean, that's with all rushes. You kind of just have to go for their base, and if it doesn't work out, if you don't manage to kill their base, then you're going to be behind. Anyway, I kind of talked about this for a while, but it's kind of, I don't have a script for any of these or anything, so I just kind of talk a lot, and you probably got the idea a long time ago, but so I'll just fast forward to the rest of this so we can get on to the next one. And you could fill these in if they kill off some of them. I guess just fill them in with bombs, unless you're going to try to rotate back around to put more weapons in. And you see I like on some of these I got just some hanging flak to try to help take out some of their anti-air and stuff. Anyway, so that's one version where you just get rockets attacking, facing down, attacking on their bases pretty soon. Again, as you saw in chat, ADS is probably the way to go against this. Especially in the current build, ADS can just chunk through doors. But it is what it is. It's a rush. It's weak. It's just meant to kill them quickly. And obviously, if you have teammates, if you can get your teammates to rush with you, then that's going to be more effective. Because, you know, if you maybe there's an argument for rushing in order just to distract them while your teammates get better ships up, but it's probably not going to work. If you rush and you fail, you're probably behind. So this strategy is a fun one. So I had an idea a while ago about making a bomber and trying to basically make it as thin as is stable, basically, and just really compact, and trying to float it near the top of the map and just, you know, have enough side-to-side maneuverability that you can just stay above enemy ships and kill them. But there's a couple problems with that. You know, one is they can build like ADSs on top of their ship firing up, and they can get you pretty good. And another is that, you know, even if you're the thinnest possible thing along the top, they can just go up too, and then you can probably kill them, but then you'll kill yourself too if you're like interior firing on them. So I had this idea a while ago of how to counteract that. Well, if you get a ship that's got bombs on the bottom, mortars on top, then basically you get above them, you drop bombs on them, you know, maybe they go up because they're trying to make it so you're no longer above them, and then you just drop down and fire mortars up into them. These are 2 upgraded jets. If I could get more, fit more in this, I would, because it's pretty important that you have maneuverability in order to get over there and get above them and, you know, stay above them. And also, I have 1 layer of metal here because, along with, you know, I'm trying to get 2 layers of metal. That's pretty important. You want to be able to at least tank 1 cannon shot. Some of this is still pretty vulnerable if a cannon goes in here, but I tried to balance this best as I could with squeezing all this. Ideally, you know, this probably wouldn't be tilted like this because this is pretty easy for a cannon to get in here, but as soon as he tried to go up, so I couldn't bomb him, and now I have shots with mortars basically, and I could dodge and try to stay out of range of his cannons, and, you know, basically they're able to dodge up and down out of the way of his cannons, and anytime you're above them, you drop bombs. Anytime you're below them, you hit them with mortars. I think it works pretty well. There probably are, you know, ways to kill something like this. It's pretty small, but I just like it. It's just kind of funny that you can just be hitting them from above and below, because a lot of times normal ships, they don't really have a whole lot of armor above and below. It's not something they're totally thinking about. And see, he does like this kind of thing, which is really good. I'm actually not sure why the cannons didn't dig in deeper. I guess they hit some of the bombs and were stopped by the bombs, so I got pretty lucky there. But, you know, I could have just dropped under him as soon as he did that, and now I can hit him with mortars and he can't do anything once he's rotated like that. So even if they try to rotate in a way that they could fire up at you, you could just drop below them, and, you know, they have to have weapons on both sides. So I think it's pretty cool. It doesn't do much against bases because it's just 6 bombs, and your mortars can't do a whole lot while you're facing bases. So the rest of this takes a while. I take out this base first, I think, or I try to, but I think I eventually decide to upgrade these. Ideally, I probably would have upgraded these before, but they're so expensive. And then I'm terrible shot with mortars. I think I was trying to, you know, get a shot with mortars here and stuff, but basically this just goes on for a while. I upgrade these bombs. I managed to chunk one of their bases while distracting this AA with mortars mostly. And then this guy, I think, yeah, he gets this ship, and then we just call it quits because we don't want to wait around for another ship. So it's not a very satisfying ending, but because this ship was just this guy, so it would have just been us, and this guy's not doing a whole lot, so it would have taken a while, so we just call it quits here. But that's basically it. Just fun little builds you can do. We have one that was the rockets, just get it in on bases. It's kind of like the other one, but this is kind of the extreme of it, where you're tilting your rockets down and just focusing on their bases. And then this one was bombs on bottom, mortars on top, mostly anti-ship. You can just get above and below them. And again, most generic ships will just have side-to-side weapons, so they're not that well defended above and below. And plus, like, if you're above them and they try to go up and get above you, all you have to do is come below them. So there's nowhere that they can really dodge. So it's fun. See you guys around. I have the next video planned out with this other mod, but we'll see how that goes. It's going to be a little different than my usual stuff, but it's pretty funny, so you'll see. See you guys around.